What's up, everybody? My name is Scott Waters. Welcome to nolifetilmetal. It's time for the requested Grail video. I've had many people ask me, what are some of the albums you want most? And I am a vinyl collector. I am a CD collector. I love music. I love buying music. Love the hunt, you know, digging through records and finding that Grail. So I have a want list that is ridiculously long, but I did get it down to just 25 albums that I really want to have on vinyl that I don't have. Some of these I've actually owned in the past. I sold my collection in 1990 for various reasons. I've reacquired a lot of it, but not all of it. So, and some of these aren't even actually that hard to find. I just don't have them, and I'd love to have them. So these are Grails for me. They may not be, some of them may not be worth a lot of money. It's just stuff that I really want. One of my all-time favorite bands, has been since I was a kid. This is Thrash, Sound of White Noise. Just never managed to score a vinyl copy. I know this was recently reissued on vinyl. Really would love to get a copy, just don't have it. First album with John Bush, and one that I am missing in my collection and would love to have. So, next up, this is Pennsylvania-based thrash band Believer. I would actually love to have either of their first two records, both really, on vinyl, but especially Extraction from Mortality. This is a fantastic thrash metal album, one of my all-time favorites. I just recently talked about it in a thrash metal video, so I won't spend a whole lot of time on it. REX Records. This one here was only released in Europe. I just saw somebody in the VC show this. I believe in Finland he lives, and Bloodgood, their fourth album, Out of the Darkness, probably their heaviest album, and I just love this record, but I don't have it on vinyl. Never have owned it on vinyl, so it is high on my Grail want list. Straightforward, heavy metal, a little bit more melodic than most. Great album. This one, if I had an order, this one would be very high on the list. One that I lost in 1990 when I sold my collection, and I just haven't got it back. This is Dark Angel, We Have Arrived, and I have everything else from Dark Angel on vinyl. I even have, you know, reissued stuff on vinyl and the originals and autographs and, and everything else. I just don't have this one, and I don't even care if it's the Axe Killer version with the black with the logo, or if it's this version, which is the U.S. independent pressing. I just want this on vinyl, and I don't have it. So, Dark Angel's very first album, We Have Arrived. One that I'm missing in the Death collection, this is Individual Thought Patterns. I missed out if this was re-released recently on vinyl. I didn't grab a copy. I missed it. I can't seem to find one at a decent price. So, Chuck and Death, Individual Thought Patterns. Another one that I had and gave up. Haven't found another copy, but this is the third album from Death Angel. This is Act 3. This is actually an original CD pressing of it. And you can see the original CD. This was actually reissued not long after it was originally issued as a Geffen Gold line with a different CD, and the booklet's less than was in here, but this is an original pressing on CD. Again, love to have it on vinyl. Yeah, this is one of my all-time favorite albums as well. This is this would rank really high on my list. A buddy of mine plays guitar in here, Glenn Rogers, and Deliverance. The very first Deliverance album. I have the second album, Weapons of Warfare. I got an original pressing. I got the reissue. I got the second pressing of the reissue. I just love those first few albums from Deliverance that much, but I've never managed to score a copy of this particular album. First Deliverance, 1988, I think, or 1989, somewhere around that area. Fantastic speed metal. Again, just don't have it. This is, I actually have a reissue on vinyl of this. I have a CD pressing of this, but this is Heathen's Rage. What I'm looking for is the original EP with that artwork, that logo, without Knights of Steel on it. This is a compilation from a company in Greece from a couple years ago. Again, one I sold in 1990. My copy not only wasn't an original, it had inside of it, it had the flyers from all the shows I went to. It had a 8x10 glossy that was signed by my buddy Tony Lee. I'll never find that again, but I would love to get an original pressing of the EP. Heathen's Rage, aka Knights of Steel, but it's really a self-titled EP. the second full-length album from Forbidden, Twisted Into Form. I have the first album. I have the EP, the live EP. I just don't have Twisted Into Form on vinyl. And it doesn't seem to be popping up. I don't think it's been reissued. Fantastic Bay Area thrash metal, speed metal, whatever you want to call it. One of these days, I hope to find a copy. There are several by this band, so I'm actually counting these together. I have the first two by this band. I am missing these two. This is A Distant Thunder and Nosferatu by Hellstar, Texas-based power metal, speed metal, whatever you want to call them, with one of my favorite all-time vocalists, James Rivera. Again, just don't own this on vinyl. Would kill to have them. I don't think they're all that rare. Again, I just don't own them. So you asked for my ones I wanted, these are the ones. Album a lot of people dislike. I actually love this record. I think this is the first Judas Priest record to not feature Rob Halford on vocals. It was, Tim Ripper Owens on vocals. I remember walking into Hastings when they were around. They were giving out free cassettes when you bought any CD, basically. They were giving you a free cassette of the new song from Judas Priest before this actually came out. And it was, there's the inside, actually a concert ticket. I saw them on this tour. They were giving out tickets with Bullet Train on it. And man, that cassette was awesome. I still had a cassette deck in my car at the time, and I played that song over and over and over again. I mean, it was just so good. And I really think this is a great and underappreciated album. Just because Rob's not on it, most people don't like it. But Cathedral Spires is just an epic song, and I'd love to hear them redo that song with Rob on vocals. Regardless, great record. It is available on vinyl. It is pretty rare. I don't own it. Yep. Creator, Pleasure to Kill, just don't have it. Would love to have it. I don't think this one's all that rare either, especially over in Europe. It just doesn't seem to pop up much around here. When it does, it's priced high. So, Creator, Pleasure to Kill, probably one of their most popular albums. Definitely one of my favorites. This is actually an early pressing with the Flag of Hate EP also included. Noise Records. Again, one that I'm just missing. I have this the follow-up to these, but I don't have Lee's Lord's first one, Freedom's Rise, on vinyl. Would love to have it. This is actually a CD pressing on Old Metal Records. And it's just a straight-up U.S. heavy metal band, and very good album. Their follow-up album and their third album were on Metal Blade Records, and I like all three of them. Megadeth, Euthanasia. Just one that I just don't have, and most people don't like this album. They, for whatever reason, too melodic. I wouldn't call it poppy. It's not thrash or speed metal. It's just melodic metal, and I really like it. The songwriting is great. Dave's vocals are great. Cover art's unique and cool. But yeah, just don't own it on vinyl. This would be pretty high on my want list too if I put it on in order. It would be up there in the top 5 or so. As with this one. Mortification's third album. This is Post Momentary Affliction. Just realized there's a little crack in the case. Got to replace the case. This is the European cover. This album came with 2 different covers. One was the Christian market on Intense, and then this was the Nuclear Blast cover. And I would love to get a Nuclear Blast pressing of this album from Mortification. Mortification are one of my all-time favorite bands. I don't listen to a lot of death metal these days, but some of these older bands, like Obituary and 6 Feet Under and Mortification and bands like that, I still love. And again, just one I don't have. First album by Omen, Battle Cry. I've seen many people show this in the VC. It's just a classic U.S. Heavy metal album on Metal Blade Records, and I just don't own it on vinyl. I do have this CD pressing from, I don't know when this came out, 1987 this pressing is from. The original album, I believe, was from 1984. One of my all-time favorite bands. I just don't have this one. Again, same story. Overkill, Years of Decay. What was this, 1989 or so? Yep, 1989. And I don't know how rare it is. People just don't seem to give up their Overkill records, and I don't have this one. Now, this is one I would be willing to pay for. Up in 30, 40 bucks is what it usually sells for when I see it. But don't have it. Wish I did. Another one that's not all that rare, and probably not a whole lot of people love this band, but I love this album from Rage. German heavy metal, bit of speed metal going on. This is Reign of Fear. I have the follow-up 2 albums after this one. I just don't have this one. Noise Records from 1987, I believe it was, or maybe even earlier than that, 1986. Keeping on. This is Realm. This is a Road Racer release. Killer cover art, killer metal, speed metal, great vocals, killer guitar playing, great songwriting. 1988, I believe it was. Road Racer Records. This is an original pressing on CD. Again, love to have it on vinyl. Resurrection Band. This is probably one of the few that's not metal in this collection that I just have never managed to score. It's funny, I just saw somebody show this in one of their vinyl update videos, and would love to have it. But this is Resurrection Band, as they were known here as Res Band, Innocent Blood. This would have been, what, 1990 or 1989, somewhere around that area. So it was pressed to vinyl in the US and in Europe, and again, that one just never seems to show up. Sacrament, Haunts of Violence. Killer thrash metal band. I recently did a favorite thrash metal debuts of 1980s. This is one that I immediately pulled out and was going to include until I realized the date was 1990. So it didn't qualify. But still, this wasn't released on vinyl. I'd love to have a copy on vinyl. Love the cover art, love the music. Favorite songs on here: Conquer Death, Absence of Fear, Enslaved to Sin, Hellfire Denied. They're just all great. Pennsylvania-based thrash metal band. This is another one of those twofers. Don't have either of these on vinyl. This is the Ritual and Return to the Apocalyptic City live EP from Testament. I have most of Testament's catalog. I'm just missing these two. I know I just saw Corey's VC channel show this vinyl, and there was probably slobber running down my face because it is one of my Grail records that I'd really like to get. Another twofer, Do or Die or Man of Straw by Viking. Again, this is an LA-based thrash metal band, and if I had to choose between the two, I'd go with Man of Straw because I just love this album. Fantastic thrash metal. A lot of these guys went on to join Death Angel, so a few of these guys did. And then one of the guys went on to become a preacher after a while. So, and these guys actually reformed not too long ago and released an album just like 2015 or 2016, I believe it was, which is also a very good album. But this needs to be reissued if it hasn't been, and I need it in my collection. All right, last two. This is another twofer. Two I'm missing from this band. I have their first couple records. I have some of the later records. I'm missing these two. Killing Technology, Dimension Hatros from Voivod, Canadian prog. By this point, they're a prog metal band. Not even, I don't know, they're just unique. Bits of that thrash from the early records, but more progressive. Very unique band. I love these two albums. Have both these original CD pressings. Again, would love to have them on vinyl. And then one more. I wasn't going to show any compilations in this because there is some I really would love to have, like Metal Blade 3, Metal Massacre 3 I'm missing. But this is Ultimate Revenge 2 live album featuring tracks from Raven and Death and Dark Angel, and who else is on here? Faith or Fear and Forbidden. So fantastic. My copy just happens to be signed by Ron Reinhardt. And this was actually his introduction to the world as the new Dark Angel vocalist. So very good live compilation that all recorded in Philadelphia. Go Flyers! So anyhow, there you go. 25 or so of my top Grail wants. So you asked for it. There it is. Those are some of the things that I want. So hope you enjoyed this video. Talk to me about these records. What do you think of them? And that's about it. God bless. Stay strong. Metal.